Just when America has reached a breaking point with division, visionary influencer Danni Benson's I'm Proud of You Sis bro movement taps into the pulse and heartbeat of a culture radically torn. But this loving mom's voice of reason and calm has received national recognition.
How do you balance having your children and always traveling with the Yankee organization?
When I became a dad, I said that I would always love like a mother.
I feel like I have to try certain things or act a different way because I know some people or some kids.
So join Danni Benson as she celebrates her special guests on her show and highlights their gifts and contributions to our world.
Hi, everyone. Hey, my name is Danni Benson. I'm so happy you are joining me today on I'm Proud of You Sis, but today it's a series I'm Proud of You Bro. Please like, share, follow, comment, and subscribe. And also find me where podcasts are available. It's Wednesday. I'm so happy to have this amazing guy here. His name is Kevin Thompson. He is a host. He's an entertainer. And this was the year my family had like sweet 16s. And we all, because you know how me and my family were really close, met Kevin Thompson. He was our MC for Leanne's sweet 16 and my other cousin Priscilla's sweet 16. And we had such an amazing time with him. He just made the party just rock on that I even made sure that I booked him for Giselle and London's sweet 16 and they're only 10. That's how amazing he was. But I wanted him to come on for him to share his story, to where he came from, how we got here, what he sees for his future. And hopefully you guys will find him as amazing as we did. But I want to give him his cigars. I'm so proud of him, bro. So welcome, Kev, to the show. Yeah. Hey. Just in time for the holidays. If anybody looking for a great MC, host, entertainer for your party, Kev is the guy. He will knock it out the park. Everybody will leave feeling elated and excited. And he does bar mitzvahs, 16, anything that you need an MC for, he does. So, Kev, welcome to I'm Proud of You, bro.
Hey, listen,
Kev, what's up?
Before I even go in my spiel, I have to say I'm proud of you, sis. Congrats on the podcast. Congrats on keeping it going. As anyone knows, anyone can get started, but to stay with it and stay consistent, that's the beauty, and that's what separates the amateurs from the pros. So I'm proud of you, sis.
Oh, coming from Kev, I will take verbal. Thank you so much, Kev. So I am so interested because you are amazing. That's number one. Number two, you've worked with the likes of Cardi B, Steve Harvey, Queen Latifah, Wendy Williams. You have a list of accolades. So you are definitely been in the industry for a long time, before the social media craze. So you know your craft, you do it well. Please tell me about your humble beginnings.
Well, so I'm a boy from Brooklyn, you know,
and
I saw that you're a mother of twin girls, which is
awesome.
I have a twin sister, so shout out to twin power. Yeah.
Oh my God, twin power.
You know, so that's what it's all about.
Crazy? My cousin Patricia and her late brother Patrick is a twin. Mm-hmm. And then
wait, you said Patricia and Patrick? Their last name wouldn't happen to be Ambrose, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not.
Got it. I'm like, I know a Patricia and Patrick twin combo. That's insane if it's the same one. Yeah.
Really? No, it's not the same one. And her niece and nephew are twins too. So twins actually run in our family.
Same for me. And it runs on, they say it normally runs on the mother's side, but for me, it runs on both sides. My father and my mother's side have.
Really? It runs on both sides too. So that's so cool. What it was? I was one and done. See, what happened was people say have another one because now I have a single. If you have a singleton, it's easier. But dealing with my babies and my twins, I was like, I'm not doing this again. It's so
First and
uncomfortable.
foremost, for those people that try to encourage other people to have children, damn them. All right. That is like why would you do that? It's just like let them live their life. Let's
Have
stop
fun.
rushing these life experiences. Everyone feels like everyone need to have kids. First of all, some of these parents don't need to be parents. And being a parent is very hard. I know this because I should big myself up, but I am down on myself so much when it comes to my son. He's 10 years old, same age as your girls.
What?
And
2013?
yeah, correct. March 2013 for me. And
Wow, that's so crazy. I didn't
and for me, it's been tough because, every other week I could go back and forth with whether I feel like I'm a great dad or a horrible dad, or great dad or horrible. I'm like, oh, I could have done this better. I could have do this better. Like for me, it's all about gauging my reactions to a lot of things and really trying not to react and just respond, because everything I do to this young man, he's going to get older and do to somebody else. So that's all I have. That's all I think about when I'm parenting him. And he's very active, very involved. He speaks pretty old for a 10-year-old, and that's because we kind of skipped the baby talk when he was younger. We spoke to him just like how I'm speaking to you right now. It's how I spoke to my son. So now at 10 years old, he has a very good vocabulary. He's very confident. I always have him in front of my ring light and the camera and have him practicing his speech. If he's playing a video game, I want him to tell me about the video game, tell me what's great about it, tell me what's horrible about it. When he goes on vacations, we come back, he gives me a quick little synopsis. The kid likes to talk. He has the gift of gab. I'm
He's
not
like
sure
his
who he got
dad.
it from.
You like his dad. First of all, I
Something
want
like
to
it.
say that you're an amazing human being. You're an amazing father.
Thank you.
Please don't be hard on yourself. Your
Yeah.
son is amazing, because I think we as parents and any other parent in the new social media age, it just seems like we're not enough. It's like it's just so much information being thrown at us, and we're trying to do so much, because I think we're the first kind of generation that we want to live our dreams, but still be present in our kids' lives too.
Yeah.
So don't be hard on yourself. Please give yourself some grace. We're not perfect. We're gonna make mistakes, but the difference is just having communication with your kids, and understanding that their feelings are valid too, and listen to them. You don't have to be their friend to listen to them and to make them understand that you understand how they feel. But I'm the parent. I have to give you boundaries. I have to guide you. And we could be friends in our 20s. But for now, I feel with my kids, like I'm their friend, but I just want them to understand that I also have to lead them the right way too.
I understand that, and then for me as a father, I was raised by a single mom, Jamaican woman, tough lady. My mom is very tough. So she was very tough on myself and my twin. And because she was so tough on us, we were very much go-getters. Like no one had to tell us to fill out college applications. We were on top of that. We fill out our own FAFSA form. Like we did all these things. It's because we wanted to be great. Her job, I feel like every generation has a job to do for their family, to move their family forward. So her generation, what they did was they came to the States and they gave birth to my generation, which is what I call the trial and error generation, because they had no idea what they were doing with us, and they were just trying things out, seeing what works.
Because I'm the trial and error generation too, because my parents are from Haiti. They came here and they didn't know to do nothing. We had to figure it out, but that's what gave us our hustle.
Yep. 100%.
Because we had to figure out everything on our own. It wasn't handed to us. That's why with my kids, I'm trying to give them that hustle, because I feel like if we're giving them too much,
they're not going to have it. They're not going to, it's hard. They're not going to, because they don't have the same childhood that you had. It's going to be tough. And I see that with my son. He's a hard worker, but there's a difference between a hard worker and a hustler, very big difference. He's a hard worker, but he's definitely not a hustler. And maybe it's a good thing that our kids aren't hustlers, because they don't have to be, because of what we've been doing, because of the foundation we laid. I say that because I host a lot of, like you said in the intro, I host a lot of bar and bar mitzvahs. For the folks that are listening in that don't know what bar and bar mitzvahs are, this is a coming of age ceremony for the folks that follow Judaism, for your Jewish brothers and sisters. So at the age of 12 and 13, boys and girls are now men and women. And around this age, these kids have already been exposed to so much in terms of traveling the world, donating to charities, being involved in their communities. and it's a beautiful thing to see. Now, a lot of this stuff, again, they're not hustlers, but their parents laid this foundation for them to be able to step into a room, understand what's going on, take advantage of certain situations, align what they like with something else, and continue to grow and create their own paths and their own revenue streams and income and all that stuff. So it's a beautiful thing that our kids don't have the hustle in them, but now it's up to us to, I guess, allow them to grow in the areas that they have been showing some sort of any sort of inclination. Like, I'm interested in this. Cool. I know someone that does this. I can line you up with this person. That's what our job is supposed to do.
Yeah, it's like passing the baton. Like, I feel like our job is
correct.
I don't think any kid should start from the starting line. I think wherever you're at, then you pass the baton to your kid and let them move forward.
Yeah.
Because that's how you
take it up a notch.
Yeah, that's how you advance the generations to come. So I get what you're saying. I feel that it's like our kids are 10. I don't know what's gonna happen in 6 years. So I'm preparing them. But it's cool what you do with the Streamlight, because I'm trying to get my kids to get into podcasting.
Yeah.
Just so to give them the entrepreneurial push in them, to give them an option. Like, if they don't want to go to college, there's nothing wrong with, everyone doesn't want to go to college, but I feel like in 10 years, I think most people are going to succeed who has their own business, because a lot of people are having their own businesses now.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. And my note with the college thing is that I'm not really going to make it optional for my son. I want him to go. And this is why.
I mean, look, okay. I'm not saying I don't want my kids to go. I'm not saying that, but I want them to hustle so much that if they go to college, it's because they want to go to college. In addition, you don't want to force a kid to go to college, because a lot of these kids have a lot of student loans. I don't know. Like, I'm hearing these $200,000 student loans, and I'm like, do I want my kid to have that?
I mean, you got to see what school you're sending your kids to. See, I'm a proud graduate of St. John's University. Red Storm, let's go. So I got a pretty good deal. I was a pretty smart kid, so I graduated from that school. Keep in mind, I dormed all 4 years. Even though I'm from Brooklyn, I wanted to have that going away experience, because if it was up to me, I was going to go to California and leave. But my mom wasn't trying to let me go. And my girlfriend at the time lived in Brooklyn, so I didn't want to go too far. But I said, let me venture off to Queens and check it out over there. But St. John's University was $40,000 a year. That's 4 years right there.
Are you finished paying your college loans?
So let me tell you what's interesting about that. Yeah. I graduated with only $19,000 in debt. That's how much money I got from the government, because I was a pretty smart kid. I was in every honor society. Not every, but I was in the highest honor societies. There's like 3 high ones. I was in all 3 of them. So I got to do a lot of cool events for St. John's, being that I was like this special student, and I was involved in all different forms of just campus life. I was in a fraternity. I was the president of my fraternity. I was an orientation leader. So the fraternity I was in, especially if you have a lot of Block followers, they're not going to be familiar with it. I did not join the Divine Nine. I was never interested. Not because I wasn't interested in Divine Nine, but my family was Jamaican and no one had any information to give me. They didn't know anything about fraternities. In their mind, fraternities is what they saw in TV and the media, like all these silly things that happen. And there's so much more to it. But the fraternity I'm in is Sigma Phi Epsilon.
Okay, so I have multicultural followers, right?
Multicultural. All right, so shout out to the multicultural followers. I see you.
So we might have one or two looking. So yes, because Bobby's platform is multicultural. So yeah, we have the world here right now. So so you're open to talk about anything and everything, because our audience understands what is going on. Because there's bar mitzvahs and there's bar mitzvahs. The girls is named one way, and the boys
the bar mitzvahs are for boys. The bat mitzvahs are for girls.
See?
Yeah. You know what's interesting is that back in I think it was the 90s is when they started actually having parties for girls. Before, they never celebrated the girls. Yeah, it was only bar mitzvahs for boys. They never celebrated the girls. And
so who came up with
the bat
mitzvahs? Who came up with the bat mitzvahs?
Well, this has been going on for centuries.
Oh, they just never celebrated the women.
They just never celebrated them.
Oh,
correct. Or at least celebrated them the way they celebrated the guys. I should say it like that, because I'm pretty sure some people were celebrated, but not like these humongous parties that are now part of a New York subculture or just
But
really
I
United
love
States
going to
subculture?
I love going to bar mitzvahs, by the way. I love.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be a good time. You're such a positive energy. I know people are seeing you through the screen, but I've met this woman in person and she's just so fun, so positive, just so happy. Like this is like this. Wait, no, you're this way. This is her all the time.
I this is that literally
All the
me
time.
all the time. Like, so it's either you love me or you don't love me. I can't change who I am. I can't change who I am.
It should be. That's how it should be. That's why you always lead with your most authentic self. So if someone doesn't like you, it's like, all right, I'm happy you don't like me. You don't like me because you know who I am. You don't like what I'm about. Cool. That'll make this conversation a lot faster.
So let me ask you another. So Kev, let me ask you a question. I get what you were saying about, like, you know, your sorority, your fraternity, right? When I was growing up, a lot of Black and brown people used to say I sounded white. I sounded like a Valley girl. Like, wait, so it's like either they loved me or they didn't, or sometimes I felt like I didn't belong. I didn't know where I belonged. I know it sounds crazy because I went to a Caucasian school all my life.
What school did you go to? Oh, all your life. Okay, got it.
Well, okay, so I went to St. Jerome's Catholic school, and then it was on Nostrand and Flatbush, and then my parents took me to St. Thomas Aquinas. That was on Flatlands and Flatbush, and then I divvied into like Long Island, so that's why I got the Long Island thing, and then I went to NYU. Okay. So
Nice.
I didn't get to go. A lot of my friends, you know, got the experience of going to Black colleges, you know, Black schools, but my schools were all basically multicultural, different races. So when I go to Black groups, sometimes they hear me and they're like, where you from? So I used to get teased like I'm a Valley girl because I've always been this happy. And I guess sometimes you don't meet Black women as this happy. So how was it your experience with you being the way you are and fitting into different groups?
Okay, well, first of all, congrats on the NYU grad. I see you, girl. Whoop, whoop, ow. I've hosted a couple of things for NYU in the past, so that's a dope school. Now, I had a very similar upbringing to you. For me, I definitely started off going to a lot of predominantly Black and brown schools, but I did grow up in a Jewish neighborhood, so it's not like I wasn't aware that there were other people that didn't look like me in the world. I was definitely aware. It was more so when I went to junior high school. I went to junior high school over in Sheepshead Bay. So now I was like,
who did you go to?
I went to Bay Academy.
Oh, okay.
So that made me a bit more submerged in the white culture. I was friends with a lot of, because in that area is a lot of Russians, Ukrainians, people from Poland, you know. So I was one of 3 or 4 Black students in my class. There's about a class of 30. My twin sister was the only Black girl in her class. It was so funny. All her class pictures from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, you see the one Black girl right there in the center of the picture, and all these white folks are around her. And so the way I battled that, I guess, well, one, it helped that I was funny. I was a pretty funny kid. So if you're gonna come at me, you better come at me right, because I'm gonna make fun of everything you got on. I'm gonna make fun of your parents. I'm just gonna make fun of you. So you got to come at me with your best. I was definitely called. No one ever thought I was from Brooklyn. No one ever thought I had a Jamaican background, because I've always sounded like this. And growing up in the same household,
can you switch it off?
I could put it on, but that's exactly what it would be. I'll be putting it on. You know, Jamaicans would know, like, no, no, man, me not like it. You know, the real yachty them, they'll know. They're like, no, he's putting it on. So I could put it on for a bit, but for the most part, I speak like this. When I was younger, as a kid, my subconscious spoke with a Jamaican accent. It spoke patois, and I would pretty much filter it through my brain and said, no, you talk like this, you sound like this. I wish I didn't, because I wish I had a more natural Jamaican accent. But you know, my mom watched the news a lot as when I was young, so I would see these newscasters speaking, and in my mind, if that's how they sounded there on TV, I would have sounded like that. You know, so and the thing is, I wasn't doing it intentionally. I really wasn't. I saw it because grown up in the same house. My twin sister doesn't sound anything like me. My twin sister very much has like that Brooklyn vernacular, you know, that this, that, and da da da.
Yeah.
You know, my twin sister sounds like that. Yeah, all that. My twin sister, Pookie and them, Ray. Like my twin sister sounds exactly like that. Keep in mind, girl's not ghetto at all, but she's ghetto adjacent. She's not ghetto at all. Like not even a little bit. Ghetto.
But you know what? Girl, she knows how to turn it on and turn it off.
Correct. Girl has a big old house in Long Island that she bought herself by herself. Like she's doing just fine.
Where she live in Long Island?
She's like, well, I ain't putting my sister's business out there like that. I ain't trying to put it.
Because we could be neighbors. That's why. Because I live in Long Island.
I'll let you know off when we get off. I'll let you know.
But is she married? Is she single?
My sister's single. She's single. Well, single as in she's not married, but she does have a boyfriend for the last couple of years.
Good.
They are both nurses. Both work in healthcare. She actually just had a baby with him. So I'm waiting for this man to propose or something. I don't know. I don't like rushing people into life decisions, but I'm just like, hey, bro, you got my sister pregnant.
I feel like once you could, I don't know, maybe it's a different time. Everyone does things out of order, and it's okay. Yeah.
There is,
it's fine.
There's everyone wants to be unorthodox, and if they don't want to be, they become it unintentionally.
As we get older, we become our parents. So
yeah. Well, because it's just so tough. Because we know how tough parenthood is. So it's hard seeing a young man or a young woman enter it by themselves, knowing like this is gonna be hard if you do this by yourself. Like my ex and I aren't together, my son's mother, but we co-parent. We split the week. It's funny because most people think when they hear co-parenting, they're like, oh, you have them on like weekends every other weekend. I'm like, every other. What? If I could, I see my son every day. Are you serious? Because I didn't grow up with a father, so I know how important it is to be present in a young man's life. And I want him to be, have the best. I want him to get the best, be around the best. And it's important for children to see two perspectives growing up, because for the most part, most parents, most mom and dads aren't the same at all in terms of they may have the same moral views, but how they approach it could be completely different. So it's good to have those two perspectives. Like his mom is very much, she's a beautiful woman. She's very much about how she looks. Her present, she's a hairstylist. So she's all about how she looks. Me, I could care less. I would wear the same shirt every day for the next 5 days. Could care less. Don't care how I look. I mean, I like looking nice, especially when I go to my events, but my everyday life, I'm usually in sweats. I'm in sweats all the time. I work out all the time. But that said, I'm very big in education. So now he has that from dad. She's way more punctual than I am. For me, I get there when I get there.
But you know what? It's good that he has two perspectives, because life is not just one color, one shade. He can pick what he likes from you. He can pick like what he likes from his mom, and he can make it his own.
Yeah.
So that's
exactly
right.
What he's doing.
I think you are right. Because and you know what it is, you get to, what's so cool about having like two parents part of a kid's life? When it's like the kid just feels like, I don't know, I think they feel they're not missing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
there's not that curiosity of like, what else is there? What else is out there? Yeah.
Like when your mom and your dad
content.
Like when you have, because it's good that you guys co-parent, because let me ask you a question. Why is it so hard for people to co-parent?
Well, because they didn't have the fundamentals built in the first place to even have a child. They had no business making a child, and that wasn't their intention. It was an accident. And now they're just like, hey, let's continue and just try to figure this out, when they had no business even being parents. But it's tough because, lust is a very real thing. And once you understand that it's like the most basic, essential need, and that, being with somebody because of their flesh is not a reason to be with someone. Once someone understands that, they'll start being a bit more wise with the partners they choose to love or give their bodies to, because a lot of people step into parenting not ready for it at all, and it shows with the kids. During COVID, all the entertainment jobs were done, so I had my COVID job, which was a pretty dope job. I was actually a director for a DOE location for a learning lab back when they had to do like hybrids, where kids were going into school some days
and coming home on the other days.
So for the days that they were remote, New York City created these learning labs, which were not schools, but like school-esque sort of things, where the students would go into these buildings and there would be counselors there, sort of monitoring them, making sure they're logged into the class, doing what they're supposed to do, not necessarily helping them do their work, but just making sure they're there. So they served as proctors, and I was a director of one of these buildings. That said, being there and seeing all these different schools, how they handle things, just seeing how the students are, I could tell which parents were involved and who wasn't, just from how the kids carried themselves. And these are kids that are like that. They ranged in age from like 6 to 12. So the fact that I could see it so, just so right there in front of my face, I can imagine what this kid who's not getting any attention at home, what this kid is going to be like in 5 to 10 years.
God.
And it's it's a truly sad thing. So it's just, I try to, and not only do I try to spend time with my son, I try to like really give him, like drop some gems on him every now and then. What I did for him when he was 3 years old, and I've been doing it ever since, I created an email address for him.
I have one too.
And I would just email him different things, like different random stories, something that happened that week. Like, man, you just did this. This was so dumb. I can't believe you did this.
So cool.
Because it's like, it's 365 days in the year, but we're not going to remember all 365 days. But something's happening every one of these days. So anytime something is big and fun that I know I won't remember, I email it to him. And then he doesn't know anything about this. I'm probably going to give him the email and the password when he's like 30 years old. I'm like, here you go. You got some reading to do. Because I've always wanted to know about my life back when I was young, because I don't just tell him about himself, but I let him know what I'm going through. So now when he's going through those stages, when he's 30, he's like, oh, this is what daddy was doing when he was 30. 35, daddy was feeling this way when he's 35. Just so he won't feel alone. But I feel like a lot of people, especially as they get older, they start to feel really just lost and alone and just, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing this thing right? Am I doing life properly?
I know.
And then social media, with that being there,
Oh,
you see
my
what other people are
God.
doing. You're constantly comparing and thinking like, should I be doing this now? Should my kid be doing this now? Am I too late for this? And it's just like, oh, stop it. Comparison is the thief of joy, but it's hard to not do it when you have something right in your face.
I feel that social media, I pray every day, like for my kids, to the social media thing is going to ruin generations to come, because it's the first time, if you're poor, like, because I grew up in humble beginnings, right? So I thought everybody was like poor, like me, so we all went to school, we all were the same. Yeah, like, so we were fine. Yeah, poor. So I didn't realize I was poor until I went to I think I was like 16, and we had to get a limo for our prom, and my parents was like, they couldn't afford a limo. I was like, what? What do you mean? Like, but then because everybody was able to afford it except
Girl, good
me.
for you. Good for you that you found out at 16. I found out we were poor when I was 17, filling out that FAFSA. I'm like, yo, mom, how much you make? That's how. What? How are we living? Wow. How did you manage to do all this?
Oh my God. Yo, like, a mother's love ain't nothing like a mother's love. We will figure it out, let me tell you. But social media now, kids are finding out they're poor. Like, that's what breaks my heart.
Kids are finding out they're poor earlier.
No, I know we're laughing, but it's so sad. But that's why I think it's messing our kids up, because you're finding out someone's house, they're eating sushi and lobster. And I'm looking at me, and I'm like, I'm eating ramen noodles.
Yep.
Yo, it won't mess up your brain. No, it do be hitting, but every day, 365 days a year.
Can I be honest with you though, Danny? There are two things, because there are things that we have to do naturally just to live and have a productive life and not be crazy. If there are two things that I could never do ever again and continue to live and be fine, would be eating and sleeping. I hate eating. I hate sleeping. I can't do it. I only eat for sustenance to live, because I know I need to eat this or I will die after a few weeks. But because of that, I'm a creature of habit. I can eat the same thing for breakfast every single day, and I've been eating the same thing for breakfast since I was like 10 years old.
So what are you eating? What are you eating every single day?
Almost every single morning, because I don't like missing breakfast. They say it's the most important meal of the day, but I wake up and I'm hungry. I wake up, 1, hungry, 2, energetic. I'm very high energy. Like, it starts in the morning, which is why I tend to wake up, drop my son off from school, and then go run. I run 5 to 10 miles a day. Now, for breakfast, I'd make either between pancakes, waffles, and French toast, one of those three, and pair that with eggs and bacon. So now that's every morning, every single morning since I was probably younger than 10, but it was around 10, 11 years old when I started making it myself because I was in Jamaica one year. You probably understand this. My mom every summer would send my twin sister and my younger cousin who lived with us down to Jamaica, and that would be our vacation for the entire summer. Like, go.
They have their break.
Go on.
Yeah.
Most of my family's still down there, so down there all summer. And for me, I'm an early riser ever since I was a kid. I wake up early, and I'm like, who the hell's gonna make me breakfast? So no one's up to make me breakfast. So I remember taking the pancake mix and looking at the box and just reading. It's like, okay, got it. Okay. Let's get this going. Of course, my first couple of pancakes were just as thin as paper. It was horrible. I mean, I'm excellent now. My pancakes are superb. But it was because I couldn't wait. I hated waiting. So I started making my own breakfast. I've been eating the same breakfast every morning ever since. Make the same breakfast for my son, make the same breakfast for myself. But I guess that's the hustler in it. Someone couldn't do it for me, so I figured out how to do it myself. Same thing with editing. When I first started my career, which we'll get into, I would always have to get these different projects edited and this and that. And these people would just take forever. So then I sat down one day, I had a friend sit me down and show me how to use Final Cut Pro. And ever since then, I've never hired anyone else. I edit my own stuff if I have to edit something. Because I know all the basics and then some, and I could get really good at that. But I chose not to get great at it because I wasn't trying to make a career out of it. I just wanted to edit my own things. But I'm pretty good. If I show you my stuff, like if you look at my website, heykev.com, that first video that's there, it starts off with me interviewing Gabrielle Union for one of her movies. It's that whole thing was edited by me because I got the skills. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, you know what? You got the skills because that was our generation. If we didn't understand something, we would figure it out ourselves.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's with anything. And I remember like my parents would tell me, don't work hard, work smart.
Mm-hmm.
And you are right, because you're working smart instead of me waiting for someone to get it done. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm a college educated person. I can read. I can figure it out. Think about how much money you're saving just knowing how to do it yourself. Right?
Yep. 100%.
That's why I think the positive thing about social media is we are learning so much information that we're finding out we can do things ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's a never in the history of mankind have we been privy to so much information. It's right there at your fingertips. So there is no, I can't do this. You know what one of my pet peeves when I'm inviting somebody someplace, I send them the address. They're like, hey, how do I get there? I'm like, what do you mean, how do you get there?
Google Map.
Matter of fact, don't come. Don't
Wait.
come. Don't come.
Wait,
how do you get there?
Wait, well, you know what it is? Easier said than done because I drive. So it's easier for me to hit Waze, Google Maps, Apple, and just go. What happens if you're walking or is there a map for the train? Like, tell me because.
No, same thing. Just like how you use Google Maps. When you look at Google Maps, there's like 5 icons. There's the driving icon. Right next to it is the MTA icon. Well, not the MTA, but it will show a bus, which stands for the MTA. Then it's like a walking icon, an Uber, however you want. So if you just click on it, not only would it tell them what buses and trains to take, it'll tell them what time it comes, what time the next one comes, exactly what time you'll get there, where you should be, where you should exit off at from the train when you get off, like what you should be, what street you should be looking for. So
are you trying to say they're dumb? Are you trying to say they're dumb right now?
They're dumb. I'm just saying that they're ignorant, which is pretty close to dumb. It's like cousins. I just can't. I'm just like, listen.
But maybe they're not into technology. There is a population.
The only people that aren't into
I gotta
technology,
give people the benefit of the doubt.
The only people that aren't into technology are people that are like 80 plus because they just can't figure it out. It's too late for them, or people who were just born yesterday. Everyone else, no excuse. No excuse. Did you hear about that lawyer that got in trouble for using AI for one of his depositions or whatever? And the AI, the chat GPT, and chat GPT, I've never personally used it. I know it's a great tool and a lot of people use it. It's effective, time helps save time, all that stuff. I get that. This guy for deposition used chat GPT, and chat GPT made a great case for his client. Unfortunately, they made up a bunch of information in the deposition. They said, yeah, comparing it to, you know, Thompson versus this and blah, 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 blah. But these were cases that never even existed. And that's how the guy got found out. And I was just proud of him.
Wow.
The fact that I was proud of him, the fact that he was an older man using Chat GPT. Of course, he used it in the wrong way. But I'm just like, wow, because he was like 55 or 56 or something like that. You never hear about someone, not that he's old, but he's older, and the fact that he was willing to try new technology, because ChatGPT is relatively new. You know, it's come out within like the last 2 or 3 years. So for somebody in their mid 50s to take it upon themselves to learn it, kudos to him. Unfortunately, he used it right and he's getting disbarred. But kudos to him. There's no excuse for anyone else. Technology is there. They have classes teaching people how to use their iPhones, all these simple things. And I get it. I have an iPhone too, and there's probably so many things on here that would probably make my life easier. I just don't know.
iPhone is simple. I think Samsung is more difficult. iPhone
the droids?
is for dummies. No, I just feel like iPhone is such a simple phone. It's just for dummies.
Thanks, Danny. You made me and so many other iPhone users feel so good about ourselves.
No. I have an iPhone
Danny
too.
called me a dummy.
No. I had to get you back for you. No, I mean, like, iPhone is so simple to use that it's not complicated. I feel like people who are taking classes for it, I'm like, what are you taking a class about, actually? Like,
for the most part, the classes are for like the older people.
Got it.
iPhone just got that. All right, perfect.
Yeah, okay, got it.
This one's been giving me problems. Go back in the case and charge. I can still hear you right here. Now you got to see my beautiful ear.
What sign are you?
I'm a Libra. I am a lucky Libra.
Oh my God, I love Libra. My kids are Libras. My kids are born October 16th. My best friend. Oh, well, yo, Libras are.
You know what?
I'm a Gemini.
What's interesting about you? So I'm gonna tell you about yourself.
Oh, you are?
So I learned years ago. I was looking through the Guinness Book of World Records. I don't know why.
Okay.
But it turned out that October 5th, my birthday, was the most popular birthday in North America.
Wow.
And when I looked up why, it was because it fell 10 months after New Year's. And apparently, because the full pregnancy is really more so 10 months, not really 9.
10 months and then 9, yeah.
So New Year's, think about it. The countdown.
Oh, the countdown! Everyone's excited. Everyone's like, "Yay!"
So Danny, you had a great New Year's one year, and then you got twins.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, October 5th, because there's a lot of October birthdays, period. October 5th is just one of the most popular days, but there's a lot of October. I have, in my family alone, there's about 12 people born in October. You know, like my immediate family. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you know what? Because that would be the 40th week. Because 10 months, 40 weeks pregnancy. So if it's New Year's, so guys, girls, if you don't want to have a baby at New Year's, you better
watch it. Watch it.
Because you be drunk celebrating. It's a new year.
Wait, who's the little furry guy behind you? Somebody just entered the screen. Who's the little furry guy?
Where is he? I don't have a furry guy behind me.
I feel like a little ginger thing just come by. There he is. I'm like, I know I saw something. Look at this little adorable. Oh my God.
He's my best friend.
Hello.
Hi. Hey, Velma. Oh my God, my dog loves me. Hey, say hi, Velma.
I want to. Hi.
He is
like
he's like a COVID baby, a brownie, or we call him chicken nuggets because he looks like a McDonald's chicken nugget.
Chicken nugget.
Chicken nugget.
You white meat or dark meat?
Huh?
Little chicken nugget. Is that white meat or dark meat? Because the chicken nuggets, they got white meat, they got dark meat now. What's that little chicken nugget?
Since he's a black family, it's a dark meat.
So he's dark meat?
Yeah,
he gave me a little wink and you said dark meat.
He's a poodle. And he's ready for his haircut. He's ready for his haircut. So
I like you the way you are, Nugget.
Look at him. Look how calm. You're so yummy. Yeah, I love you too. I love you. I love this dog. You don't understand. I love this dog. He's
I
like
grew
the
up with a
most
cat.
now.
So don't be upset
You're
at me.
a
I grew
cat
up with a
guy?
cat. I'm a cat. I'm very much a cat person. Yeah.
How are you
Yeah.
a cat guy?
I think
You
cats
know
are
what?
so this.
Because cat, they're loners, and they go. Shh.
So this is why I like cats. This is why I
Okay.
like cats. I like cats because cats hate people. They hate most things, most people. They hate them. But if they mess with you, if they truly like, you know what?
They
I
mess with
messes
you.
with you. It makes you feel special because
I F with you. I F with you.
you know it's
Basically.
almost like me. I'm accepting of everyone, which is great. But if there's somebody else who wasn't like me, like my ex's sister did not just accept everyone. Like she's very just, I don't know you. Like you had to like prove yourself to her, you know?
Yes, you
Before she
gotta
was just
earn
kind
the
of like, you
trust.
cool.
Earn the trust.
So that's what I like about cats. There was this meme that I would never forget. They said, why do cats look at you like you just asked them for a ride to the airport? I've always loved it. But I'm a cat. I just love cats. I like dogs too, but I love cats. And when I see these cat videos,
do you have a cat right now? You have a cat?
I currently have no animals because I have a child. That's enough. That is enough. I have a child. I don't know how you have a dog and twins. I have a child. You know, his mama just got him a dog, which is perfect. Let me off the hook. That means I never have to get him an animal. I am good. If he gets an animal at my place, he's getting a hamster, a gerbil, something that's going to be put in a cage, and then dead after a couple of years. Nope.
I got him. I got my babies a dog because I wanted to bring out the empathetic part of them, like the loving, the responsibility, the walking the dog, the taking care of the dog. So, and it's two of them doing it. So it's not like one person doing it. And they've always wanted a dog since they've been born. And it's so crazy how time flies. I was like, when you're 8, I don't know how I picked this number. I was like, when you're 8, you're going to get a dog. So every year it was like, are we 8 yet? No. And then COVID happened. And one day it clicked like they were 8. They're like, Mom, you got to get us a dog. I was like, what are you talking about? It's COVID right now. I'm not thinking about no damn dog. But I had to keep my word.
They remember. Those kids do not forget. They do not
forget. And I understood it was going to be a trauma of them not trusting me if I did not give them a dog. And I've been promising them for 8 years, and I couldn't go back on my word because kids test you that way. And so when some people go to high school and they're like, why is my kid acting like this? You have to look back at what you did that wasn't consistent, that your kid checked it and was like, okay. Yeah. And then as they got the language for it, they kind of knew the kind of person that you were. So I wanted to keep my word with the dog. So that's why, because when people see me, they're like, I never knew you was a dog person. I was like, I had to become a dog. I mean, I had a dog. His name was Diddy, but he was a pit. Yeah, his name was Diddy. Before Diddy was Diddy, he was Diddy. Before Pop called him his name Diddy, we came up with his name Diddy.
Oh, really?
But we had to get rid of Diddy because when I had the twins, because he was a pit, he was like a jealous dog. So I didn't want one of those horror stories on the news, like something happened to the twin. And I was like, okay.
Gotcha.
So we gave it away to the family.
That's a good idea. That was a great idea. I actually have a really good friend of mine who I didn't even know this until I don't know what made her tell me about it. But when she was younger, they had a pit bull in their family. And at one of the family events, they were throwing like the boomerang or something and the pit went to go jump for it. And she was right there. The pit bull didn't even realize she was right there and took a bite and accidentally like bit off like the side of her, like a whole side of her face. Oh my God. If you saw this girl, you would never thought anything happened to her because she had to have about 11 reconstructive surgeries on her face. Yeah, which was insane.
Wow, but yeah, that is a trauma.
Oh yeah, but I totally get you with the whole idea of just like not wanting to have a wild animal because they are wild animals. Some people are domesticated, but for the most part, they're wild animals. You know, they might just flip out when they want to. So to have it around a child,
and you never know
how to touch them properly. I watch videos of kids just petting them or grabbing them. I remember when my little sister. So I have fun fact about me again, Jamaican, so huge family. I have 5 sisters and 3 brothers.
Really?
Correct.
You kept saying twin. You just made it seem like it was you and your sister.
Oh yeah. I mean that's all anyone's ever interested in. But just to let you know, there's 9 of us all together. We call us Thompson. We call ourselves the Divine 9.
Oh, that's what's up.
We're actually having our very first Sibs giving this coming. Yep. So that's really exciting. It's nice because
who's hosting?
So it's actually going to be there's 9 of us, and my mom didn't have 9 kids. She only had the twins, very similar to you, one and done. So my father spread out these 9 children amongst 3 different women. One of the only good things.
All get along.
One of the only good things that he did in his life ever was make sure we all knew each other. So, and all the women for the most part got along. Everyone gets along. We just don't like him. Everyone else likes each other though, but we just don't like him.
Let me ask you a crazy question.
Wait. After that question, I'm gonna move this light because this thing back here is bothering me.
Yeah.
Over here.
Okay.
Is it going now? It's going now.
No,
okay.
But just sit.
Nope, it's still there.
Just sit.
I was trying to sit in front of it. But it was. There we go. All right, got it. It's gone. Okay, I'm back. Go ahead. What's your question about that?
The reason I'm asking you is, what is it about your dad you don't like? You don't like that he wasn't part of your lives? Because, you know, as there's so many single parent households, and, you know, what was it? Because he kept you guys kind of
I'll tell you.
together.
I'll tell you right now. Well, he's one of those people that we were speaking about earlier who shouldn't have been a parent. Like you're not good at this. Like, stop. Because even the few kids that he did, a couple of my siblings that he did take care of, they can't stand him either. They probably like him less than we do. The ones that he didn't raise. You know.
So do you think that everything happens for a reason? Do you think that you would have been different if your father lived in your household?
I would have been completely different because he was. So I'm not religious, but I am spiritual. I grew up in a very religious household. That's probably why I'm not religious. I grew up going to a Pentecostal church. Every Sunday I went to Mitzvah Assembly, and keep in mind this is a family church. So my grandmother's cousin, Pastor Boy, who just passed away last year, she ran the church. She would come pick us up every Sunday, all the kids, and then take us on this deathly terrifying van ride to the church. She drove like a mad woman. She drove like Jesus was behind the wheel with her. You know what I'm saying? He was not. I don't know how we didn't get into an accident. Not one of those times. That said, my father was very religious. So religious, in fact, he used to be a pastor.
That's why I'm not religious. I'm very spiritual. I feel like with God, I don't need a connection. I don't need a middleman with God. I always tell people, we don't have a middleman with our parents. Why do I need a pastor telling me what God is? I'm like, look, if I need something, I'm going to ask God. I don't need someone in the middle.
Yeah.
And
like
no shame, people
who are religious. I love that.
Yeah.
It's important to have something that you can hold on to. I don't care what it is. Cheerleading, track, religion, whatever it is, something that can ground you. Because if you walk outside, there's just a bunch of boys. Because I don't work just similar to you. I don't have a 9 to 5. I have my events that I host and different things. So I could be outside on any given day, just walking around and looking up in the streets of Brooklyn, seeing all these young men just outside smoking their lungs away, not doing anything. I'm talking about, and I'm up early. So I can see these young men. I see them at 8 o'clock in the morning, which for me, I'm just like, if you up this early, cold, you outside smoking, imagine what you do if you just put your mind to something. Have something that grounds you. But they don't have that thing that grounds them because it wasn't introduced to them. You know, there wasn't a parent that introduced this to them. And it goes right back to that, right back to the full circle moment, right back to that. But the reason why I don't like my father is because he shouldn't have been a parent. I like him as a human being. My very first conversation I ever had with him, really honestly, the very first conversation, I must have been 29 years old. We spoke for about 2 hours and I recorded some of it, unbeknownst to him. So I haven't aired any of it. It was really just for me and for me to play it for my siblings. But hearing him talk, this guy he did not want to have this life. You should not have had children. You don't want kids. You don't want to do this. You know, right now he's by himself, no woman, no children. I mean, I don't know about my siblings, but I don't call him for his birthday. To this day, I don't really know when it is. I know it's in November. It's coming up. But I don't know when it is. I'm not calling you. Never called me. But my mom, I will say.
But have you forgiven him? Have you forgiven him?
Well, it's not really about. I don't think there's anything for me to forgive him for. It's not like I'm upset at him. You know, I'm just kind of like, you shouldn't have been a father, bro. But other than that, he's a cool dude. He's actually very intelligent. The conversation I had with him, the man is smart. That's why him being in my life growing up would have changed things because he was such a polarizing figure. And my mom would have let him run things. And I'm happy that he wasn't because he didn't run things. And my mom, her being a single woman and busy, I kind of created, my independence was started because of that. You know, I had to figure things out for myself. Sure, I have my twin sister here, but when I tell you we weren't like the stereotypical twins always together, we were never together. She had her friends, I had my friends. And that's probably because we're boy-girl twins. But for the most part, if my father was involved in my life as a child, I would be completely different. I will say, they say men sort of give children direction, but I think a mom could do that too. And my mom, I feel she didn't like put her arm on me, and she didn't walk me. You know, she wasn't holding my hand as a kid. I was the man in the house by the time I was my son's age, which is 10. But she would kind of help me steer clear of certain puddles, like watch out for that, watch out for that. But for the most part, it was just always Kevin knows what he's doing. I always just seemed so confident in who I was. I'm how I am now, how I sound now. I've been like this since I was a kid. You couldn't tell me anything. In my mind, I was right. You're wrong. But I was always coachable. And I think that's what's important to know that, because we all have these beliefs that are rooted in our minds, whether it's from our parents, the environment that we're around. And then as we get older, we really hold on to these things. And sometimes it's hard to break away from it. But I've never been, for me, I could easily break away from anything. I'm like, that sounds like it makes more sense to me. Well, this idea sounds better. Like I've always been open to grow, just because I know I don't know everything. You know, in terms of the things that you can know in the world, we all know a fraction of a fraction of a fraction. We don't know anything. You know, for the people who think that there's nothing else to learn, you might as well just go jump off a bridge right now, because what are you doing here? There's so much stuff to learn. Pick up a new craft. Like I'm trying to learn how to knit soon, because I keep on splitting my pants. I need to learn how to sew. You know, I need to learn how to sew. Right now, as soon as we get off, I'm here currently reading this book right now. I'm going for my certification.
Certification for what? Essential strength?
So I used to I used to be a fitness instructor before the pandemic. I did mainly dance fitness, and then I got into HIIT cardio workouts in Manhattan. But then I sort of fell out of love with it. I'm very much a fitness person. I never advertised that, but like I told you, I run every morning and I'm working out all the time. I have a whole home gym here, have all my kettlebells and weights over there with my yoga mats and yoga blocks. I love working out. I love moving my body. That said, instructing a group got tired really fast, because I didn't care for it. I knew I didn't care for it, but I think I would care a lot more if I did things the right way, and I'm trying to do things the right way now. So now I'm going for my certifications and getting things done. My CPT, my CSCS, and because of the relationships I've already built in Manhattan and a couple other places, I already have gyms that are ready to hire me. I'm not even
so where are you a trainer at? Where are you a trainer at? So if people want to find you.
If people want to find me, well, right now I'm not taking anyone. I'm not taking anybody.
Okay. Because
I'm not taking anyone.
You have a great body. Okay.
Girl, thank you very much. But I'm not taking anyone. Once I get certified and everything is done, then I'll start being open for that. But right now, I'd more than likely be teaching a lot in Manhattan, because it's just a lot of crossover with my clients in the party scene. So that's why it makes so much sense for me to just like really indoctrinate myself where they all are. If you guys go at this gym, I'm at this gym now too. So if I don't have your party this year, I'm going to get the next one next year, or the following couple of years. Because what's beautiful about the business I'm in when it comes to the bar and bat mitzvahs is that you have so much legacy with children when you have multiple children. And for someone like me, if I did the first, you damn sure the family wants to hire me for the second and the third. You know, is Kevin available? I had a family, the company I used to be exclusive for, I'm not going to give them a shout out because they don't deserve it. The company I used to be exclusive for, I got them their first billionaire client. So I hosted this party over at the Altman building, huge party, did very well. It was like this French theme. It was very beautiful. That said, fast forward 2 years, I had a second kid, but now I'm unavailable because the date that they had booked, somebody else booked me. You know who booked me? One of their friends that were at that party that saw me booked me, another billionaire client.
Wow.
So now this first billionaire client is upset because they're just like, one thing about people with money, they're used to getting their way. If they want it, they're going to get it. You know, because for them, the only objective is just, if it's money, that's the only obstacle, excuse me. If it's money, I'm like, oh, I got that. Don't worry about that. But when somebody's just not available, they're just not available. It was a little messed up that their friends.
Was it like a bidding war? Was it a bidding war or no bidding war?
It was a problem.
Contract.
It was a problem because now when I'm not available, what's beautiful about the business I used to be a part of, beautiful for them, not so much for me, is that I do a great job at this party. There's so much eyeballs on me. Now their phones are ringing on Monday morning. But Kevin's not available. But you know what? This person's available and this person's available. And now because they trust the company's product, being that I'm one of the products, they think, oh, everyone wants to be as good as that guy. They're not.
No,
they are pretty good because I've trained a couple of them. But a lot of stuff that I'm really good at is just instinctual. I'm good with people, and I've always been good with people. I never had to take a class. I remember when my hosting career first got started, I used to warm up talk shows. And I would go on, I rarely went on auditions, but the few I went on that would make it super foreign, the casting directors would always talk to me about, oh, what classes are you taking? Like, what are you doing to learn more about like hosting? I go, there are classes for this? I'm like, what do you mean?
I know the classes. Yeah.
I'm not taking a class.
Yeah.
You're going to teach me
this is our personality. This is our personality. This is not classes. This is like who we are authentically.
The things that I learned, because the thing is, there's always more room to grow. But the things I learn on the job. I learn on the fly. I'm not going to a classroom to learn that. Because there's no, for what I do, for what we do being around people, there's not a lot of in-class experience. It's trying to like learn how to drive a car, but you're just reading the manual. You got to drive the car. You got to eventually go and drive the car. Then you're not going to be able to do it. So for me, there's nothing that you can teach me in a hosting class. I have to be there. Throw me to the fire. When I started warming up talk shows, the traditional warm-up person for a show is a comedian. I am not a comedian. I am a funny human being that is just very good at timing because I am there. Like if you hire me for a gig, I am there. I am present. I see what's happening. I see grandma getting down real low over there. I'm about to go get up on grandma. Like I'm aware of what's happening. And I think that's what separates me a lot from these upcoming hosts and MCs because yes, they're there, but then they're also here. They're in their phone. And
they're not present. They're not present.
They're not present. I get they're trying to get the moment, but get the moment and then get back to it. Because now you're missing other moments. And I'm good at getting the moment. I'm gonna record it and then my phone's gonna be gone real quick. Like you're gonna rarely see me on my phone at a party because now you're not there. Now you're there in your phone. And that's with anything. Whether you're driving your car, walking down the street, hanging out with your child, I try to put my phone away. Because it's just like not try, I put it away because you're not there, bro. We pay for you.
Yeah, you basically live in the moment. Like you're there in the moment to make everyone happy and have a good time.
That's right.
So your forte is like living in the moment because this is a moment that's going to be part of their memories for the rest of their life.
Because the way I look at it, Danny, the way I look at it, I learned a long time ago, you should treat people as if today is their last day on earth. So that's what I try to do. And that it sticks with me every morning, every time when I leave, that's what's in my mind. I try, don't get me wrong. I still have my moments where I'm just ready to curse somebody out, but
I get it. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. Yeah.
It takes a lot to get me there, but it's so interesting. And this is why I love when people finally discover traveling and they're traveling. A year ago this time, Danny, you know where I was a year ago? Exactly a year ago? I was in Bali. Bali is gorgeous. And I wish more people could see it, but I just wish more people traveled so they know that wherever they are, this ain't it. This is not the only thing that's here. Like there's so much more going on in the world. Because when I come back to New York, every time I come back to New York for my travels, I see how disgruntled people are. I see how just pent up aggression. They're on that hamster wheel of doing the same thing over and over again. And they haven't had that break. And some of them it's because they can. The other ones, they just haven't planned it properly. And the best way to take a vacation is to look at your calendar, look at your schedule. No, you have nothing going on right here. Book it. Find someplace, book it. The way I travel, the reason why I was in Asia last year, and I went to Bali, but I went to 4 different countries. I flew out to Malaysia. So I was in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Then I was in Bali, Indonesia. Then Bangkok, Thailand, and then Singapore. Now, for me, I saw that I had some time that was free, and I went and just Googled where's a good place to visit during this time of year. I never look up other places. I don't travel like how other people travel where they're like, "Ooh, I really want to go to Dubai." For me, I'll go to Dubai eventually.
Kev, wait a second. Yeah. Give all your handles right now. Just give me all the handles, and we can continue talking. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So you can find, if you want to find me on most of my platforms. Instagram, I'm pretty. I love using that. I'm at Hey Kev.
Hey Kev.
Yeah, Kev with 3 V's. So hey Kev, and the reason why that stuck is because I would introduce myself to crowds from when I used to warm up talk shows. I go, "Hey everyone, my name is Kevin Thompson. Can I get a hey Kev? Hey Kev?" Just so I can know that everyone's there. If you're on Facebook, I go by Kate. I have my entertainment page on Facebook, Kevin Thompson, the entertainer. You can be able to find that there.
So everyone, Thank you so much for coming on. I'm proud of you, sis, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys. Bye.